Hi, I'm Abby from RTINGS.com. Today we're reviewing the Samsung S90C. Though it isn't the flagship model, here's looking at you S95C, this is one of the best TVs we tested in 2023. It's even our top TV recommendation for most people right now. It uses a QD-OLED panel, offering bright, vibrant colors and deep blacks. And it's available in a range of sizes, including 55, 65, and 77-inch models. There's also an 83-inch model that features a WOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate. We tested the 65-inch model with a QD-OLED panel, so it's worth noting that if you bought the 83-inch variant, the results here don't apply. There are also a few retailer-specific variants. That includes the Costco-exclusive S90CD and the Best Buy-exclusive S92C, and regional variants like the S93C. All of these models are nearly identical and are expected to perform the same. So, I know we say it's the best for most, but what does that mean in today's TV landscape? We'll cover that and more, but first, let's look at the design. The Samsung S90C is a high-end TV with a high-end feel. There's little flex on the panel or metal casing, and despite some front-to-back wobble, the TV feels secure on its stand. The stand also gives you plenty of room to place a soundbar up front. Like most OLEDs, the screen is thin with thin bezels that give it a sleek look. All 4 HDMI ports support full 2.1 bandwidth, so gamers can take full advantage of their console's capabilities. The TV also supports 4K at 144Hz, giving it a tiny leg up on competitors that cap out at 120Hz. The inputs thread around the side and bottom. They're tucked away inside the panel housing on the back, so they aren't the easiest to reach with a fixed wall mount. If you use the stand instead, the TV comes with cable clips to help you keep your cables out of sight. The screen has a glossy finish with an anti-reflective coating. This coating does a fantastic job of reducing the intensity of reflections from nearby light sources. Overall, you won't have any trouble using the TV in bright rooms. If you have a wide seating arrangement or like to have everyone over for movie nights, you won't have any issues with the viewing angle. You'll get a remarkably consistent image no matter where you sit. With the basics out of the way, let's move on to the picture quality. This is an OLED, so you can expect deep blacks and a near infinite contrast ratio with no blooming or haloing around bright highlights. The TV gets very bright, especially with HDR content. It can reach over 1000 nits, so bright highlights pop and the image looks vibrant. Like most OLEDs though, it has a very aggressive ABL, which dims the image with scenes that have larger areas of brightness. You can stop it from fluctuating by setting that peak brightness to off, but that severely limits the peak brightness of your screen, so it isn't an ideal solution. Since this is a Samsung, there's no Dolby Vision support, but it does support HDR10+, which isn't as widely used. PQ EOTF tracking is fantastic, so HDR content is displayed at the correct brightness. It follows the target extremely well, although it can over-brighten dark shadows a bit. It clips anything beyond its peak brightness with very little roll-off, so you'll lose some very bright highlight detail. In SDR, brightness is good overall. You won't have trouble making out the image in a bright room with ambient light. But again, the ABL is very aggressive here, reducing the overall brightness in scenes with large areas of highlights. These fluctuations in brightness can be distracting if you're watching a hockey game or browsing the internet with your PC connected. Let's talk about color. The S90C passes all our color tests with, well, flying colors. Like other QD-OLEDs, it has an incredibly wide color gamut. It covers nearly the entire P3 color space used in most HDR content, despite some slightly oversaturated reds and greens. Coverage of the Rec 2020 space is a bit more limited. The tone mapping is slightly off, leaving some inaccuracies with very saturated colors, but otherwise, it's still excellent. SDR colors are very accurate right out of the box. There are no noticeable issues with white balance and color temperature. With a few tweaks, you can get it pretty near perfect, but it'll look fantastic even if you don't calibrate it at all. Those of you still collecting DVDs will be happy that the TV does a great job of upscaling low-resolution signals. There are no noticeable issues there, but it does struggle a bit with smoothing out content from low-quality sources like streaming apps. While it preserves a lot of detail, there's noticeable macro blocking in dark scenes, which can be distracting. Moving on to gaming. We've already mentioned that the TV can do 4K at 144 Hz with 4 HDMI 2.1 inputs. But the TV also supports variable refresh rate to reduce screen tearing, and it's fully compatible with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. It has a near instantaneous response time, so you won't have to worry about blur or ghosting. On top of that, it has incredibly low input lag in game mode, making for a responsive gaming experience. Enabling game mode doesn't affect the picture quality much either, so you'll get the same punchy colors and bright image while gaming. Finally, let's take a look at the sound. Like most TVs, the built-in speakers won't cut it if you care about sound quality. They just can't give you that deep rumble in the bass range, and they don't get very loud. The frequency response is okay overall for a TV, but a TV this good deserves a proper sound system, or even a soundbar, to really bring home the home theater experience. Regarding audio pass-through, the TV can pass through most audio formats, including Dolby Digital and Dolby Atmos. But sadly, it doesn't support DTS formats, which a lot of 4K Blu-rays use for their lossless audio tracks. That shouldn't be a deal breaker, but it's something to remember. So, that brings us to the big question. Should you buy this TV? The answer is yes. For most people looking to get a high-end TV, this is an incredibly well-rounded product, especially at this price point. With a 144 Hz panel, plenty of HDMI 2.1 ports, VRR, and low input lag, it's a gamer's dream. Its QD-OLED panel displays vibrant colors and inky blacks, making for a fantastic viewing experience. It's a better value buy for most people than the flagship Samsung S95C. The S95C does get brighter overall, and it comes with a One Connect box, giving you more flexibility to wall mount your TV and manage cables. However, despite offering the same number of HDMI ports, the ports on the One Connect box are limited to 40 gigabits per second, as opposed to the full 48 gigabits on the S90C. Some users also report having connection issues with the One Connect box. Of course, since it's the premium model in the lineup, you're also paying a premium in price. Pound for pound though, the S90C is a better deal. You can also go for the Samsung S89C to save even more money. It's basically an S90C with cheaper feet in place of the stand. You'll save a few $100s, though it's a Best Buy exclusive and only comes in a 77-inch size for those who prefer something a little bigger. Lastly, there's the LG C3. The C3 uses a WOLED panel and doesn't have as wide of a color gamut, particularly in the Rec 2020 color space. It does, however, have better processing than the S90C. It also has Dolby Vision and DTS support, so it might be the better choice for cinephiles and 4K Blu-ray collectors. The C3 is also available in a wider range of sizes, including smaller 42 and 48-inch sizes. The S90C, on the other hand, is king for gamers with a higher refresh rate and a brighter HDR image in game mode. No matter how you slice it though, these are both incredible OLED TVs, so you won't go wrong either way. That's it for our review of the Samsung S90C. If you want to learn more, check out the written review on our website. The link is in the description below. Until next time, I'm Abby from RTINGS.com, where we help you find the best product for your needs. Looking for headphones and can't seem to find a pair? We have just what you need. In-depth reviews packed full of all the data you can't get anywhere else. Head over to our new channel, RTINGS.com Audio, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. Ding ding!